of young children with the simple joys of just being a kid. I was speaking to a young father the other day who told me that his 10-year-old daughter had spent 20% of her life under COVID health restrictions. We cannot remain at a heightened state of emergency forever. We have to begin to heal. And so Alberta will move on, but we'll do so carefully. We'll do so prudently. We will do so only if it does not threaten the capacity of our healthcare system. So our plan will involve 3 steps, starting with easing restrictions on activities and situations that have been shown to be lower risk throughout the pandemic. The first starts with children and youth. Step 1 will remove almost all restrictions affecting children, including removing the mask mandate for all K-12 students effective this weekend. Outside of the school setting, kids 12 and under will now be exempt from the general mask mandate that will continue to apply in indoor settings for approximately 3 weeks to come. As I have long said, kids have been subjected to a heavy and I think unfair burden throughout the pandemic. And it is given the very low threat that COVID-19 poses to the health of children, it is no longer justifiable after 2 long years to continue to disrupt and restrict the normal lives of kids. It is time to let kids be kids. And I am determined to ensure that should we ever have to come back to any kind of measures in the future, God forbid, that we will not affect the wellness, the freedom, and the normal lives of kids. Step 1 will also end the restriction exemption program in its entirety, effective midnight tonight. This is, I want to just say this about the restriction exemption program. We brought this in September when our healthcare capacity was under very severe stress, particularly in intensive care. And at the time, we saw that 90% of our new ICU admissions were amongst unvaccinated people, and the province was generally under-vaccinated relative to the rest of Canada. We simply had to do something urgent to prevent a catastrophe in intensive care and in our hospitals generally. And we had to do something to get our vaccine rates up. And so we chose a measure that avoided shutting down businesses and places of worship, but allowed us to reduce transmission while also seeing a significant increase in vaccinations.